Rochester, New York. Not far from the shores of Lake Ontario sits a museum dedicated solely to the study of play. Christopher Bench is the Vice President of Collections at the Strong National Museum of Play. The museum has a Hall of Fame, a tribute to toys that have become classics. But the artifacts aren't all fun and games. One item here, a childhood favorite, was actually conceived of during some of the darkest days of our history.
From World War came a toy that we still play with today.
Everyone wants a Slinky.
So how was the Slinky an accidental byproduct of America's involvement in a global war? The story starts over 60 years ago. 1943. World War II is raging. At home, Americans are doing their part to develop and build products to help in the war effort. It's a massive effort that reaches from coast to coast. In a Philadelphia shipyard, an engineer is hard at work. He's been hired by the U.S. Navy to invent a stabilizing device for sensitive navigational instruments aboard its ships.
A mechanical engineer in Philadelphia was looking for a solution to how to cushion maritime instruments from the kinds of vibration and action that the ocean brings.
This engineer was a man named Richard James, who was convinced that a torsion spring was the answer to this wartime problem. But his research wasn't going well.
None of his springs did the trick. None of them worked correctly. He failed dismally to find a solution to the problem, but he kept his springs on hand.
James may not have solved the Navy's conundrum, but out of his apparent failure was born invention.
And one day, in a classic moment of ingenuity and chance, he knocked one of the springs off the shelf above his desk. And lo and behold, it walked down on its own.